Hey guys, it's the Chubby Repairman coming at you with another episode of Storytime with Chubs. I put out a vote today, and of course, the page is just starting to get rolling, so there's not a ton of votes. I won't pretend as though I'm massively popular or anything like that. But based on votes, it looks like you guys wanted to hear about the little crawl space of horrors. And so that's what story we'll be sharing today. The votes also they wanted to hear about My Eyes Are Shaking and the Strange Dog, but we'll get to those later this week. But to cover this first story, this little crawl space of horrors, I was called out to a job in Canadian Lakes, and I was working on a refrigerator. It was a rental or a weekend home. I can't remember exactly, but for what for one reason or another, nobody was there at the time. And I was working on the refrigerator and had an ice maker that was leaking on the floor. And what I had discovered was it was actually leaking through the supply line. So this is one of them deals you can't just leave it, right? But no one's home. I have to get on the phone, and the guy that owns the place is telling me that the shutoff for that water is in the crawl space. When we're talking about crawl spaces, there are crawl spaces and there are crawl spaces. There are crawl spaces that are nice, cement bottomed, might even have a creeper down there. Sometimes they're 3 feet high, 3.5 feet high. I mean, maybe even 4 feet. I mean, they're almost luxurious in the terms of crawl space. But then there are the crawl spaces, right? The sand bottom, just awful crawl spaces. Well, this fall into the latter category. Um, and it was quite something even to discover where to get into this crawl space. So this house was built in such a way that the house and the garage was like an afterthought. You could tell that the house originally um, was kind of standalone, and then later on they added the garage. I'm sorry, guys, I've been dealing with a cold, so if you notice me kind of sniffling and a little bit of coughing, that's what's going on. But anyways, so the access is actually through the garage, through like a pull-out basement window, like one of those metal frame basement windows. That's the access to the crawl space. It's just like a little 18-inch window, right? And I wasn't as chubby of a chubby repairman back then. And so I got out to the work van. I happened to have my hunting clothes in the van. Um, and I had these overalls. So I threw these overalls on and I get down in the crawl space. And I've always been notorious for not keeping a good flashlight on me. That's just been my. I gave up on trying to keep a good flashlight years ago because if I'd get a good one, I'd leave it in the side of dryer somewhere. And so I just never tried. So all I had was this little, like a pen light. So I get in the base or get into this crawl space, and I've got to wiggle through this like 18-inch, window essentially, like belly crawl in, and the whole way in, it is nothing. It's sand, and the floor joists are dragging across my back. I mean, there's just no space. I'm having to at times burrow through the sand. So as I'm burrowing my way through the sand, and I don't know why it always happens, but somehow these crawl spaces, I swear the guys that make the house, they throw broken glass into the crawl space as kind of a litmus test for the guy that has to get down there. How dedicated is he? Because I swear there's always broken glass in a crawl space that nobody's been in 30 years. But I'm digging my way through this sand. I'm digging my way down, and I get to this, the cold air return for the furnace. Now the clearance is so small, I can't fit. Like, I cannot fit. I actually had to dig a hole from in the sand to get underneath this cold air return. So I'm digging, digging, digging. I finally get a hole big enough, and I get under there because I don't want to flood somebody's floors. I don't want a lawsuit on my hands. I don't want a liability claim. I didn't start it, but I wasn't going to be responsible for this thing. So I dig under this cold air return. I finally get wedged through to the other side. I no more begin to clear this cold air return. And on the other side, as I'm using this little pathetic pen light, something's looking back at me. There are eyes. There are eyes, and they're looking at me. And I'm thinking, oh no. Like, what what is down here with me that's going to eat me or want to bite me, and it's one of those things like I just dug through to get under this cold air return. It's pitch black. I can't see a thing. I've got this pathetic little pen light, and something is looking back at me. There's nowhere to maneuver. I mean, I'm belly. I mean, get it in your head. I'm bellied out, right? Like I can't even get to where I could defend my face. I'm laying out in the sand underneath this cold air return. And I'm starting to weigh my options. Like, should I try to back out? But I can't back out. I mean, this is really going to require for me to get completely turned back around, pointed back in the right direction, and dig away. Well, I don't want to offer this thing my back. Or do I keep moving forward? But this thing is unblinkingly staring at me, like it is locked in on me. And so as I'm down here weighing my options, and I'm keeping as much light as I can on this thing, it's starting to dawn on me. That thing hasn't even blinked. It has not turned its head. It has not blinked. And what I first have taken for, bloodthirst in its eyes, like it's locked in on me. And starting to realize maybe what's going on here. So I had to make a decision. I said, if this thing's going to come after me, I at least want to be facing it. At least want to be able to try to get my hands on it. So I might as well go forward, right? So I keep continuing forward, my pathetic little light not hardly offering enough light to illuminate anything. And as I get closer, it's still not moving. It's still not, oh, this thing wants to fight. It's not running. It's not scurrying away. It's waiting for me. It wants to fight. Oh, yay. This thing's going to bite me. Well, I finally make my way over, because, of course, the water shutoff is on the farthest side of the crawl space, of course. And as I finally approach this thing where I can get enough light on it, what I find is it's a cat, but it's a very dead cat, like dead a long time, not juicy cat, not dead a little while and stinking, but this thing has been dead to the point that it is dried out completely. No stink, no nothing. But I discovered something. I made a scientific discovery that day. Cat eyes will reflect light for a very long time, and they will hang on for a very long time when the rest of that body has decomposed. And so here's this dead cat's head just staring at me, sitting on this ledge in this crawl space. And for the life of me, I don't know how it got down there. There are no accesses to this crawl space. There is no good way in. I can only assume at some point that window got opened in the garage, and that cat got in there and died. But it was it really got your heart going. It really tested the health of my heart that day, when these set of eyes were staring back at me. And so that's the story for today, guys. We'll be talking about the strange dog. We'll be talking about the times my eyes were shaking, in other videos. There are plenty more stories to come. If you guys would like and share, and there's tons of people that are liking these videos as I'm spending money to advertise them, which is great. I appreciate it. But realize that if you're not actually coming and following the page, you're not going to continue to get the stories. And I've got 23 years worth of them. So we're just getting started. So it'd be greatly appreciated if you'd like, comment, share, but come follow the page would be tremendous. You guys have a good day.